You got the Chiefs going up against the Titans, which the Chiefs are coming off of a decent road win against the Washington football team last week. They had their struggles in the first half, but they were able to bounce back in a major way in the second half. And then to kick it to the Titans had probably one of the best wins of the year by being able to beat Buffalo at home in one of the best Monday Night Football games that we've seen all year. And currently, as it is with their records, the Chiefs have a 3-3 record going into this game, and the Titans currently sit at a 4-2 record. So, Kevin, with the Chiefs going up against the Titans this weekend, who do you have winning this game and why?
To be honest with you, this game is going to be a little weird for me because both teams just have a piece of the pie that the other team doesn't. Um, Derrick Henry, best running back in the league, and then Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. The passing defense for Tennessee is not phenomenal. The rush defense, or should I say the overall fucking defense of the Chiefs, is terrible. So it's a matter of who's going to give up more or who's going to turn the ball over first. Because it's like on one side of the football, Patrick Mahomes is obviously one of the most electrifying playmakers in all of football. He's got the best arm. He's able to extend the play with his feet. But in the negative portion, he has had a whole lot of turnovers in the last couple of weeks, if not the last month or so. So if I had to give an edge, I'm probably going to give it to Tennessee just because Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. And when you run the ball effectively against anybody, you're draining the clock and you're keeping the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hand. Two, if you stack the box against Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill is more than a capable enough quarterback to go out there and give the ball to his superstar receivers that are Julio Jones and A.J. Brown in one-on-one coverage. Obviously, it's going to come down to which defense cracks first, or should I say which defense makes a play at the other person's offense. Because let's put it bluntly, if Pat throws an interception or has an interception and a fumble or two picks or whatever have you, if he just kind of tacks on the turnovers, all Tannehill's going to do is just literally hand the ball off. And I know a lot of people make fun of him for it, or a lot of people make fun of the Titans and say they're a one-trick pony. People just can't seem to stop that one fucking trick. You can put 9 players in the box. You can hit Derrick Henry 5, 6, 7 times. He's still going to run past you or through you. It doesn't necessarily make a difference. And I think that that's a very big dynamic in the game because they just have a truly unstoppable force in the Tennessee Titans that has Derrick Henry because defenses doing everything that they can. They're stacking the line of scrimmage. They're stacking the box as a whole. They bring the safety in. They have corner blitzes. I mean, they have zone blitzes to try to stall him. Kyle, you played the game. When you're on the offensive line and you're sitting there and you're creating these holes, like there's just no stopping a man that's 6'3", 250, and that runs a 4.5 40. I mean, it's an unheard of anomaly. And I know we make jokes about this, but to me, he's a test tube person. He was made in a laboratory because no one that big should be that fast, but he's just got the full package. And I really do think that Tennessee can squeak away and get some form of redemption against the Chiefs from a few years back in that AFC Championship game.
Kevin, I'm just going to say something right now. I've been waiting all year for this because
when did you get that jersey?
I have had this for a while now.
Really?
Just because I have to respect the fact that Patrick Mahomes is just that dude, and I got to stick up for my boy, Patrick Mahomes. And you know why? Because they going to get the dub against Tennessee this weekend. And here's why. So, it is without saying that Kansas City's had their struggles this year. There's no doubt about that. Especially with the fact that they've turned the ball over numerous times throughout the entire season. And Pat is definitely one of those players that has had turnover issues the entire year. I mean, the guy has 8 interceptions already, and he's already exceeded the amount of interceptions that he had the entire year last year. So when you combine all those factors, yeah, I could definitely see why you're definitely siding with Tennessee here. But I have to be honest with you. What I saw from the Chiefs in the second half against that Washington team, I was impressed. They got it together. They didn't turn the ball over, and they looked like that Kansas City offense of old, where they could march down the field very easily. They were playing solid defense against Washington. Granted, Washington does not have the best offense, but still, they were able to force some turnovers. They were able to get pressure on Taylor Heinicke, and it just finally seemed like, okay, like this team is finally getting it together. And I think just that confidence boost going into this game is going to be big for them. Granted, it's going to be a tough battle because Tennessee's at home. They just beat the Bills, who were arguably the best team in the AFC going into that matchup, and Derrick Henry has been unstoppable. So Kansas City is going to have to stack the box, and they're going to have to force Ryan Tannehill to beat them, because if they don't, Derrick Henry could run roughshod over that Kansas City defense, and it's going to be a long day for Kansas City. But I don't foresee that happening. I think that they're going to be able to mitigate Derrick Henry's effectiveness in this game because they know how good he was against Buffalo, and Buffalo has a pretty solid run defense and a great defense overall. So I think they're going to look at that film. They're going to learn from what the Bills' mistakes were, and I think they're going to limit Derrick Henry to about 100 yards rushing. I still think that he's going to be able to get 100, and I imagine that he's still going to get a touchdown, maybe even 2, but I'm going with Pat, my guy. I think Pat has a great game. I don't have any faith in Tennessee to slow them down whatsoever because they gave up 31 points to Josh Allen last week. And as long as Pat Mahomes does not turn the ball over and the offense as a whole doesn't turn the ball over, I think that Kansas City could potentially put up 35, maybe even 38 points in this game. And I just don't think that Tennessee is going to be able to match that. They did that against Buffalo last week. I don't foresee that happening in this game. I think Kansas City, they're going to ride that wave from what they had in the second half against Washington last week, and I think they're going to win this one. I think it's going to be a shootout still. I could definitely see Tennessee getting up into the high 20s, maybe even the low 30s. But I think the Titans lose this one because I think Kansas City is just going to put up 35, potentially 38 points. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think Kansas City gets the dub.